Hello, my name is Mark DeGraff, and I will be co-presenting today with my colleague Henry Neuenhaus.
Thanks, Mark.
Henry and I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their interest and for attending our event during Buildings Week 2020. Lumon Canada is pleased to present the Lumon Advantage, how balcony glazing improves buildings and living quality in multi-residential developments. Today on our agenda, we'd like just to go and I'll take kind of the first part of this event and just like to introduce Lumon, a little bit about Lumon, where we got our start in Finland, and also just kind of give you some examples of balcony facades from around the world, and Lumon solutions for upcoming projects in Canada as well. And then my colleague Henry Neuenhaus will get into the benefits of balcony glazing, Lumon balcony facades, installation, and service. So, as mentioned, our company is based out of Finland. We've been in Finland now for over 40 years. This happens to be just a photo of our head office in Kouvola, outside of Helsinki. I've had the good fortune of going to Finland, and as well as Henry Neuenhaus as well, and seeing our production plant. It's a very modern, very efficient plant where we produce our balcony glazing, our retractable glazing. Everything is all produced in the one plant there. And that plant services all the countries that Lumon operates around the world. We started again in Finland there, and then we kind of expanded into the Scandinavian countries, other parts of Europe, Russia. We've even got into, you can see on the map there, as far down with the little sliver there, with Chile. And then we came to North America about 10 years ago. And we started our first office in Toronto, and then we also opened up an office in Vancouver. Over the past 40 years, Lumon is proud that we kind of recently crossed a milestone where we completed more than 1 million balconies in over 20 countries and over 5,500 kilometers of manufactured glass, or 5,500 manufactured glass panels, and over 1 million meters of manufactured balustrades and railings. Over the years, our sales have grown with the concept, and as well as the number of employees in our company. Recently, over 1,063 employees, just to kind of give you an idea of the size of our company, and 143 million euros in sales annually. Our production plant based out of Finland produces more than 2,000, to give you an idea, produces more than 2,000 glass panels of tempered glass per day. But we also don't have just production in Finland, we also have production in Vaughan, Ontario. We'd like to have production in Canada as well. That's our first plant outside of Finland. When we operate here in Canada, we'd like to have the ability to, just in case, for the most part, our orders do go to Finland, but for our single family division, some of our smaller orders, a lot of those orders will go to our production plant in Canada. It's also a bit of a nice thing for us as kind of a backup, just in case we do receive something from Finland that's scratched, damaged, or we have something that's mismeasured or something like that on some of our larger projects. We can certainly rely on getting something a little bit quicker out of Vaughan, Ontario there for us. To give you an idea of the Lumon numbers in 2019, with our concept becoming more and more popular for residential developments, again, over 800 projects and over 89 kilometers of railings and balustrades. And just to give you a sense of the volume there as well, over 37,000 balconies in the year 2019. And our numbers for 2020 will be much higher than that as well. And our single family division, close to 5,000 sunrooms on the back of single family homes. And this is the total from all the 20 countries that we operate in. And with our concept, it's been kind of an evolution, just in general, just speaking towards balconies in general. I'm sure we can all agree that We see very many residential developments. We see an awful lot of balconies on them, but we don't see a lot of people using the balconies. So Lumon, over the years, has developed our balcony glazing, starting with the railing system in the glass, and then the retractable panels that go on top of the railings. And just to make the balcony space a nice indoor-outdoor space, just a lot more usable all year round. And to give you an idea of our concept, just on the different types of architecture, you'll notice in the top left-hand corner there, kind of a full facade on a building with where we have our incorporated our railings and our retractable glass across the whole facade. And of course, there's dividers between the units there. And then also on the right-hand side, you'll notice just a kind of a typical three-sided balcony as well. And then you'll just see other examples of other buildings in Finland where we've incorporated our concept into these multi-residential developments. And we like to think that our system complements the look of a lot of these buildings. And just some further examples of that as well, just with maybe a bit more modern architecture, like you'll see in the top left-hand corner, and then other treatments that we can do with our railings, with the different types of glass that Henry will get into a little bit more. And in the bottom left-hand corner for people that may be attending from Vancouver area, there's something that you kind of see that's very similar to what you see like on the Cambie corridor or something like that with the low-rise unit there. And also just kind of give everybody a really good idea of what it looks like on the inside of a balcony. So, and also maybe to give a bit better idea about our system. So our system is a single glazed panels. They are top hung. It is a system because we have our railing system with the retractable glass panels on top. So it's designed and engineered for the whole entire wall system. The panels, the retractable panels, just kind of butt up to each other. They're all in line on a single track. And it's a very versatile system as far as being able to open it up partially, stagger the panels, that kind of thing as well. And Henry will get into a little bit more of how our system operates. You'll actually notice this picture is from downtown Helsinki. And you'll notice that, well, it's kind of hard to notice, but in the background, there's quite a few other buildings, multi-residential buildings, but in Helsinki, we're fortunate because we're probably on about 80 or 90% of the buildings downtown Helsinki, just to give you an idea how the concept has become very mainstream in Finland and other parts of Europe as well. And to give you kind of some more ideas on how our system looks and how it's integrated into buildings in Finland. And again, we like to think that it complements the building and doesn't take away from the architecture. And maybe a bit more of a modern style building there. We do have our new type of railing system that doesn't have any posts. So it's just a very clean, very modern look to the building. And to give everybody a good idea how our system operates, this is a good photo showing a number of panels that have been retracted. And then there's also some full-length panels that walk out onto a terrace, and then the shorter panels are on top of our railing system there. But a very, very versatile system. The whole entire wall system can open up. And then just other types of architecture in Finland. And with the different types of treatment for multi-residential, with the different types of colored glass and how people use their balconies in Finland. It maybe provides a little bit of privacy as well. And a recent project that was recently completed in Finland too, with a developer. The name of the developer is called YIT, and this is their project called Tripla. It was a large mixed-use development beside a train station and a mall, and they incorporated our concept on over 400 of the units for this first phase of this project here. One of the reasons why they liked our system so much with the mixed-use development was because of the noise reduction that our system offers as well for mixed-use developments. And to give you a bit better idea of the building a little closer up with the facades, and it's kind of an interesting kind of facade on that type of building as well, and quite large size balconies. And other projects from other parts of Europe. This one happens to be in Budapest, Hungary there. And this is part of another mixed use community there, where there's a number of different taller buildings that our system was incorporated on as well. And another one that was recently completed in Belgium, where it was incorporated into design of this building on a 28-story building in Belgium with quite large balconies as well. Kind of an interesting design because our glazing on the outside of the balcony almost acts as like an exoskeleton and offers that indoor-outdoor space. A bit better kind of closer up of that building as well. So other parts of Europe that Lumon is proud to be working into is France, Germany. So just some examples: Holland, Poland. Quite large projects that we've been involved in Russia. Norway just recently completed quite a modern looking taller building there as well. And of course the Scandinavian countries like Denmark. And Spain is one of our largest countries that, or highest volume countries that we operate in. And Spain, as we all know, is probably a bit warmer environment warmer climate compared to Russia, Norway, other parts where they do really like the benefits of balcony glazing in the colder climates. But Spain, with their warmer climate, they still do a lot of volume there. A lot of our retractable glass is incorporated into the buildings there as well. And one of the reasons why in the denser environments, denser urban populations there, is because of the noise reduction that our system offers, and Henry will get into a little bit more of that as well. Closer to home here in Canada, about 2 years ago, we did a taller building in Montreal as well. And then we've been involved in some projects in Toronto, Hamilton, and Markham, Ontario. And one of the larger developers in Canada, Mattamy Homes, we're proud to be working with them on a number of projects. This one happens to be the one in Brampton, Ontario there. And just a nicely designed, quite modern looking building that incorporates the Lumon balcony glazing. And for people out in Western Canada, they may be familiar with, there's a developer called Quadra Homes. This was one of our first buildings that kind of got Lumon into Western Canada here. And there's a bit of a story on this building, just because with this, the developer was in fairly advanced stages with planning with the township of Langley. And they thought it was a good idea to incorporate the solariums onto the balconies. But because of what stage they're at, they didn't want to change or alter the appearance of the building too much and change the roof lines. So you'll notice that the balcony glazing is on the lower levels there and not on the top floor. But when the developer went to go sell the units, what happened is a lot of people, instead of wanting to purchase the upper floors or penthouse units, in the sales center, people migrated to the lower floors where the balcony glazing concept was incorporated. And the developer right away knew that this was a really good idea for their development. And that developer, from doing that first building, which was about 153 units, they've had a lot of success with incorporating our concept into their projects. The Galleria out in Abbotsford, other buildings in Langley, Pitt Meadows. And just another building just to note here too is in North Vancouver in the lower right-hand screen here. And that happens to be a retrofit building that we did a number of years ago. And there's also a bit of a story on that building, because what happened is we approached people in the building. There was some interest there with incorporating our system, and it's kind of a unique shaped balcony, kind of maybe a six-sided, if we call it that, for how it's configured. And it also just shows the flexibility because our system can go around the segmented balcony like that. But the people living in that building were experiencing quite high winds. And what happened on the first, when we kind of presented the concept, a lot of people hadn't seen this product in Vancouver or North Vancouver before. And so there was maybe a bit of hesitation. So about 23 people signed up. And then shortly after we did the installations, but then what happened is a lot of people that also live in the building go into units where the balcony glazing was installed. And then the next wave, then all of a sudden 23 more people wanted to sign up and add the glazing to their balconies. And then now there's a third wave happening in that building. So pretty soon we'll have almost all the units done in that building. Other new projects that we're excited about here in Vancouver and the lower mainland. Our first building in the top left-hand corner was designed by GBL Architects. It's called Coco. It happens to face a busy street on 41st Avenue in Vancouver. And one of the reasons why GBL incorporated our system was for the 50% noise reduction that our system operates, or offers, I should say, sorry. And then other recent projects, another developer on a fairly busy street in Vancouver as well called 888 Osler. They incorporated our system along with GBL Architects on that building as well. And then again, Quadra Homes in the lower right-hand corner with a new project out in Surrey that we just wrapped up, that one called Forest Ridge. And they integrated our system into the 181 units there as well. Other developers have kind of noticed the success that Quadra Homes has had here in the lower mainland, and another developer called Harris Builders Group with their quite modern looking building in Langley as well. And Quadra, again, with quite, they used to do usually 153 units at a time, but with how well their product has been received in the condominium market, now their newest project is called Carvolth, and it's a total of about 9 buildings, and it's 620 units, all with the incorporation of the Lumon retractable glazing on all the units that are offered there as well. And recently, we're working closely with a development company called Elevate Development Corporation for their project out in Mission, BC there. And another one that we're very proud to be working with in Maple Ridge, and it's our first 2 towers for North America where the developer has decided to include Lumon balcony glazing on all of the 510 units that are in those 2 towers in the city of Maple Ridge. And another one in Maple Ridge as well with High Point, and another developer out in Abbotsford area there with another 72 unit project as well. But I hope you can all agree that our system, again, it just kind of reflects on the different types of buildings, different types of architecture, and how well aesthetically that it will complement the building. So we're not just involved in the condominium market. We do offer a solution for the townhouse developments as well. And just kind of a good idea here of some row housing and some townhouses incorporating our system. On this project, they happen to use a conventional roof, and then our system with the railings and the retractable glass is incorporated underneath that. And for the lower terrace, we just go with our full length system as well. And this just to kind of give everybody a good idea of the size and the scope of the project that was with Carvolth in the township of Langley there with the 9 buildings that I previously mentioned there. Again, just the integration of our concept on every single building as part of that design. And with them having the good success that they did on the condominium side of things, how they've also incorporated the system into their townhouse for the first time as well, with the lower rise townhouse development there. So Lumon's not just on the, on the multi-residential side. We also have been incorporated into a lot of restaurant designs, the Boston Pizza, Earl's, Nando's, a few of the different restaurants here in the lower mainland. And this just happens to be a good shot of a place I look forward to going to in one of our recently completed projects in Spain, where they've incorporated, and this is quite a nice hotel where they've incorporated into the rooftop design with the retractable panels and just making the rooftop just a lot more usable space. And then we also have a single family division, and then just showing some kind of different types of designs. Sometimes we do incorporate a wood post and beam, give it that bit of that West Coast flavor, especially for out here in BC. And the different types of how our system will connect and how it integrates into the back of single family homes quite easily. And Henry will take it over from here, and he'll get into the benefits of balcony glazing. Go ahead, Henry.
Well, thanks, Mark. I really appreciate that. It was wonderful to see all those slides and how you presented that. I'm going to take up the cause. My name is Henry Newhouse. I'm representing Lumon in Eastern Canada for the project development management end of things. And I'm going to share with you in the first series of slides benefits of our balcony glazing. And one of the most important benefits that a lot of the developers are discovering, and end users as well, is the livability of our system incorporated on the balconies, making the balcony space a livable space. When you really think about it, balconies have not been traditionally used very effectively, or a low percentage of usage. And when the condos are being built, in the latest builds anyways, most of them are anywhere between 800 to 1,000 square feet. And to add an additional livable space with our retractable glazing without impacting the gross floor area or the FSR, it is a real positive benefit for the end user for the livability aspect of it. You're basically adding a good percentage of livable space, which they wouldn't prior with an open balcony have experienced. And one of the developers, as Mark was talking about earlier, Quadra Homes in the La Galleria, they market it, and other developers market it as well. Additional livable space on the balcony. They call it solariums with some of the developers. And in this particular scenario, that extra space is almost 20% of the condo extra for the end user to use. And it's protected space. They can leave their furniture out there, and the enjoyable time throughout the year is much greater used compared to an open balcony scenario. This is one of the units in downtown Toronto on Navy Wharf overlooking Lake Ontario, a beautiful view and protected area where you can leave your furniture out and enjoy the space no matter what time of year. And it's a wonderful feature and benefit for the end user to have this protected space. This is another great scenario. This is a rendering of one of the projects that is being built out in British Columbia. I'm not quite sure if it's quite finished yet. Around enjoyment, this particular balcony, it's about over 200 square feet of additional space. Wonderful extra living space without impacting the FSR or GFA. So this is one of the top reasons and benefits for this to be incorporated in new designs and new condo living. One of the other big benefits and a major benefit for developers and end users to have glazing on the balconies is for protection. And not only for just the user, and the user gets protected from all the weather elements, whether it be rain, snow, wind, or pests such as pigeons, or garbage that blows in from the wind, or noise, and also the control of heat and cold. It is a great protection layer that can be added to a structure for the end user. But not only is it a benefit for protecting the end user, it's a protection for the building itself. The core envelope of the building, the interior thermal walls are protected with this extra layer from the same elements of heat and cold and the weather elements, which deteriorate the exterior envelope and windows and concrete that's exposed. But if it's protected, the longevity of those exterior envelope elements are protected, which is a great benefit to the longevity of the building and to developer as an owner or the owners of the building. This is a simple picture, but a powerful picture. A picture paints 1,000 words. This is a simple before and after, or with or without glazing. And that just summarizes what I said before. You know, when you have an open balcony, garbage, wind blows, furniture around, things are less protected. But if you're protected with glazing system, that you can enjoy the weather for most of the year in there, and and you leave your cushions and your pillows there, and it's well protected and nice to enjoy. So that's a huge, huge benefit. This is a picture of Mark's former residence in Burnaby, where when you're open to the elements, this is what happens. You can't keep your pillows there. You can't keep certain items out there because of the weather elements. This is covered all in snow, and you get dust, you get wind, things rattle and blow around. But if you have your protection with the glass, you can have a safe environment protected, and you can maintain your pillows and your decorations and your furniture in that spot without trying to store it. A lot of times the challenge is for a lot of people in condominiums is they have to move their balcony furniture to a storage place because it does not stay in good shape, or the wind has havoc with it in the wintertime. So a big question that we have for a lot of designers, builders, developers, investors is when you build balconies on buildings and developments, is it a profitable business? And why do you build balconies on developments? A lot of times there's a high demand for it. People like the aspect of having balconies, being outdoors, being exposed to the exterior, which is a very positive thing. But for the most time, people don't utilize that space usefully and for a great period of time because of all the elements that impact them, as I stated earlier. This is another picture and slide about a developer who markets, and Europe is really strong in this. They market the solariums and the balconies as an additional living space, which makes it a good investment on the building. It makes it more profitable. And this scenario shows that. It's a new way of thinking about balconies in Canada. You know, the traditional option has been open balconies. You know, there's a desire for that, but the use and the investment doesn't pay. But the Lumon solution is the smart solution, we believe, and a lot of developers are coming on board with that. And this is just a typical example, an average example of the investment, the additional investment to go with the Lumon solution of an additional $7,000 in glazing, and you can add an upcharge to the unit of $20,000. So therefore, on average, a profit of $13,000 per the amount of units that are in that building. This is just averages, but it gives you an idea that it can be beneficial to the owners, the builders, the investors to add the glazing to that development. And then you get happier customers, and the word is spreading. And history has proven in Europe that that works very well, and is working very well in different parts of Canada as well. This is one of the developers, Concordia, out in British Columbia, that does market it as well. And they are in also pre-building stages, pre-construction stages. And it is well marketed, having our systems on the balconies. So it's a strong selling feature, which is starting to really catch on. One of the other big benefits, as Mark was mentioning earlier in the presentation, is the up to 50% noise reduction. I'm getting more and more requests in regards to this noise reduction because of some of the zoning bylaws, but also because of the infill areas that developers are inserting buildings at, or retrofitting older buildings where there is busy corridors going through, and having our glazing on the balconies really reduces the noise. Noise mitigation is a big, big benefit. You know, near airports, near busy highways, near train stations. Studies have proven that with our glazing system, depending on the thickness of the glazing, or depending on the style of the balcony, how it's designed, will reduce the noise by up to 27 decibels, and which is a great reduction. And when you go inside the units, you can barely hear the noise that you would formerly hear more when there's no glazing and Lumon systems are not on the building. This is a picture of a typical transit situation, but you got the GO train or Metrolinx, or you have the Sky train, or you have CN Rail. There's many different transit systems that are also close to multi-family dwellings, which the request for, okay, how are you going to handle or meet the noise reduction requirements, and our systems added to the project will greatly benefit the noise reduction requirements based on the zoning. Another side feature which is really enjoyed and liked by the end user is our systems are easy to maintain and clean. Here you see a lady cleaning the glass, the outside and the inside, very easy on both sides. But history has proven over the last 35, 40 years, those that have Lumon glazing on their balconies also take care of the glass. They take care that their balconies look neat and used in a positive way. So it actually reflects positively to the building, and that reflects positively to the unit values. And therefore, it is also very much a positive feature for the end user. So it's easy to clean and maintain. And again, it's really enjoyed by most. Another great side benefit, and this is a posting from IBI, but researchers and health experts have indicated that the more people are exposed to light and enjoy light, which is sometimes limited in condo living, but with our glazing system on there, people can get out on their balconies more time throughout the year and enjoy the light, which is healthy for humans, it's healthy for living and for moods, and some parts of the country, some parts of the world, every ray of sunshine is important to people's health. And experts is more and more, and you can read articles in the newspaper in regards to having a balcony or having outdoor space that you can connect with the environment. And especially when you're working from home now during this post-COVID era, having larger exterior space is a positive for those, even if they're working at home in an office. Those that are also at the home because of COVID can go to the balcony and play. There's many videos online, kids playing out on the balconies. And with the at-home requirements and mandates and lockdowns, this has become a very positive aspect of having enclosures on balconies. Another feature of Lumon is we are also very cognizant of the environment. We care about the environment and in different aspects of that, based on the materials that we use, based on the energy savings that people can experience, based on reduced cost of maintenance of a building, which building owners can experience. And tradition has it and experience has it that when you put glazing, our glazing on balconies, the maintenance period extends way out to 25 years versus 8 or 10 years before you have to do some maintenance on the balcony, restoration or caulking or replacement of windows and patio doors. Glazing just extends that maintenance period. The life of the building gets elongated, and you reduce costs that way as well. The maintenance costs get reduced dramatically. The other feature about our product, all our products are 100% recyclable. So if there is a scenario where things have to be replaced, or we have it also in places in Europe where there's installations that are 30, 35 years old, they want to modernize it, contemporize the design, then the old systems can be 100% recycled. So it really has a positive impact on our carbon footprint. We're also very much involved in helping reduce CO2 emissions and green building solutions. We can partner along with retrofit companies to make buildings more green. There's a lot of old building stock out there that need to be retrofitted, or planning new builds that can be their life, and their CO2 emissions are definitely improved worldwide with the use of our systems on buildings. Again, as I said, we're very cognizant of our carbon footprint. Our products also contribute to LEED points, so we are positive on the environment. The payback period is within 5 years, between 2.5 to 4.5 years is the payback period, but the lifespan of our product goes out to 25 plus years. As I was saying, there are many installations in the world that have our systems on that are over 25, 30 years old. So it is a real positive feature of Lumon. We are discussing with a lot of retrofit companies and installing our systems on older buildings that need to be refurbished. And it will just extend the life, make them more energy efficient. And those are all positive aspects to our carbon footprint. Another big benefit and plus of Lumon for a building structure is the energy savings. And no matter where you are in the world, there is energy savings, some more, some less, depending on the climate. Our origins come from Scandinavia, where they have a colder climate, and there's a lot of studies in Europe in regards to this, and we have recorded a lot of scientific studies on the energy savings on it, but you can save up to 34%. This slide here shows in one slide as to some of the savings that can be realized. And the scenario of this particular structure there, the top unit has no balcony at all. And without a air conditioning unit going, the unit can get quite warm. If you add balconies to a building with no glazing though, it does reduce and does help and protect the inside unit, and the temperatures are reduced. If you put glazing on the balcony, it reduces the temperature some more. If you have glazing on the balcony, but you have one glass panel open, it reduces the temperature some more. And the best scenario is the bottom unit, where you have glazing panel open with blinds and reduces the temperature even more. So in that scenario, you save a lot of your cooling energy in the summertime, but in the wintertime, the heat gain is phenomenal, and you have less heating costs as well. So you have that extra envelope of protection on the balcony sides, where the outside elements do not get at the interior of the structure, and therefore there's less heating costs involved. In Canada, the average is around 8% energy savings, but you have up as high as 15% of energy savings as well in Canada. And there's different averages around the world. What's also very positive and a benefit of Lumon systems on buildings is our modern, clean line, minimalist designs. As we have changed our designs in the last couple of decades, and we've reduced a lot of the profiles on the balustrade or the railing systems, but all our upper retractable glazing systems are frameless. They do not detract from the look of the building, and they are timeless, and they're very modern, very clean lined, especially our new railing systems that are postless. We've reduced the amount of profiles that are involved in the design, so it is a very positive feature, and they're very versatile. You know, we have different varieties of and applications that can be used in different designs. So because of the versatility, because of the clean lines, because it's clear glass, for the retractable glazing, it is a very positive feature in the design element. I'm going to go into some of the balcony products. First of all our products are certified internationally for working with buildings, and they're engineered, and we're all patented and internally designed, but they're all engineered and certified for use, and both international standards as well as Canadian standards. And we are CCMC approved in Canada. We meet and or exceed the building codes provincially as well as nationally. So it is, and our product is one of the only products that is approved for the use on multifamily dwellings. The systems that are used on multifamily dwellings, there's variations of the system, and depending on whether it's low-rise, mid-rise, or high-rise will dictate which system is used. And in our systems, that when we enter it into our internal systems, it helps dictate an engineered system. And sometimes there's wind loads that need to be considered, structural considerations that need to be put into consideration. The whole design and will dictate what products we use. Traditionally, the Lumon 5 goes on low-rise, mid-rise, and the Lumon 6 goes on mid-rise to high-rise. It's a little bit more of a durable, stronger profiling system. We also have those same systems in full height systems. And as Mark mentioned earlier in the presentation, all our systems are hung from the upper structures, whether it's concrete, wood, or steel, and the glazing rides along tracks. But there's a telescopic profiling system in the top, which are used for adjustments, especially in the first year when there is deflection happening, when there is some certain imperfections in the leveling of the concrete or the wood structure. We can make adjustments, and we have that built-in adjustment system in the telescopic system. So, and especially deflection is important because of shrinkage or movement in the building. So we have that also with our full height systems, the L6T and the L7T. And we have one system called the L7S, which is weighted on the bottom. We only use that in residential issues or situations. So, and these systems accept different thicknesses of glass from 6 millimeter to 10 millimeter up to 12 millimeter. The L5 goes up to 10 millimeter, and the L6 can go up to 12 millimeter thickness of glass. And both systems, both full height and half height systems, the same thing applies. This is a typical corner unit, which just shows the demonstration on how it operates and opens up. This is like a typical corner unit where you have one or two doors, and the doors open or the gates open at one end or both ends, and the glass slides along and opens up at the door. So you can have it gathered at both ends, or you can have it gathered at the one end if you have a bypass incorporated into the design. All our aluminum is powder coat painted, and it is industry standards. Okay, so we have our own standard colors that people can select from, but we also have a full range of RAL colors that people can pick from to match if the design is required. And there's different pricing systems for if you go beyond the standard colors that we have in our industry. Glass on the balustrades, on the railings, you can get to tinted glass, and a lot of times grays and blues are used, or browns, or and texture. So we have all those options available to our clients. We also have different coloration laminations, and there's some weird, wild, funky colors that can be used. A lot of times laminated railing systems are when they're on the sides or fronts mounted on the slab or within 50 millimeters from the edge of the slab, then we have to have laminated glass, and you can incorporate a color into that laminated glass. We also do sandblasting and in custom patterns or silk screen printing. And we also have a blind system that can be incorporated, and they're custom made per glass panel. They move with the glass. They operate from top down or bottom up, and you can use them for privacy. You can use them for heat control, and they're a great system, tried, tested, and true. So Lumon is involved and assists from the design process right through the ordering and manufacturing right through to installations. There's not one step that we don't get involved in. Especially, it's very important to us that we do our own installations. We don't hand off to a subcontractor to do our installs. We do our own installs and warranty, our own work. and we service and maintain our own work. We have great plans available for condo boards beyond the warranties to service where required. And our product is tried, tested, and true, and they last for decades. So it is a great system to have incorporated into a condo building. Our vision is to be the best and most desired in this marketplace. So it is one of the ways that we do this is being close to the customer, understanding what the needs are, whether you're a designer or whether you're a developer or whether you're an end user or an engineer. We keep our promises to the best of our ability. It's important that we follow through with what we say we do, and we build a future together. It's very important that we can work as a team. We work alongside our stakeholders, our partners in this industry to make sure that we come with the best possible product to the market and that will stand the test of time, but also create a good livable experience, and which is got back to the first point that I brought in the presentation, a very livable, enjoyable experience on the balcony, and that's what we're about. So I think this brings us to the point of questions, and so I think we are going to field some questions through the chat.
Thanks, Henry. Yeah, that was great to give everybody a really good idea. And just one other thing, just to elaborate on the service and the installation, was there was a 5-year warranty on our products and then a 2-year warranty offered on the installation. So yeah, just
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that.
Yeah, a few questions have come up. Just looking at one of them here. Can I still install a balcony enclosure in my pre-existing condo? Henry, do you want to field that question then?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mark. I believe that we get approached by folks all the time in regards to, hey, I have an existing condo and with a balcony. Can I enclose my balcony? And we have that every day, every week throughout the year. We get people asking that question all the time. And yes, we do that. We have we call it a condo consumer team, where we have representatives go to your unit. We will help you talk to the condo board or to the property management company and answer any questions that they may have. And we'll help you as a person. We'll provide you with a price, and we will actually go through the permitting process and approval process. Okay, and we'll do a presentation with your condo board, and ultimately, if they all approve, then every municipality, they're familiar with our system and they approve our system. There's a Section 98 that needs to be signed. It's because it's a common element, it needs to be signed, and the condo board is and then backing behind you 100% in that situation. And then once the condo board approves it, then we open it up to other residents in the building. And then we go to the city for permit approval, and then we build it. So there is a process that we follow. And yes, that question comes up all the time. Thanks, Mark, for that question. And, anyone who has that scenario can definitely reach out to us at any time. We'll direct you to the folks involved. And as far as, and Mark, I just wanted to ask you, how does the balcony installation with the retractable glazing? I know that you folks had an issue with the FSR out west. How did that impact for you folks out west for the FSR, and what kind of remedies have been addressed for that matter?
Yeah, thanks, Henry. Yeah, that's a really good question. When we do a lot of the lunch and learns with the architectural firms, that question comes up a lot, and of course, developers are always concerned about if there is any FSR implications with it. For the most part, in many municipalities across Canada, we've had the good fortune where our system doesn't count towards the FSR or FAR. That's been the case in Toronto, Mississauga, Hamilton, in the west here, and Montreal as well. But in the west here, We've had worked closely with the Township of Langley with our quadra building projects, and it didn't count towards the FSR there. And that also happened when we approached the city of Abbotsford. Recently, Maple Ridge, Burnaby, the city of Delta has also indicated that they don't think there should be any FSR implications as well. But it is with some of the municipalities, like for example, the city of Vancouver. We've been working closely with them. They had their balcony enclosure guidelines that were written quite some time ago, written at a time before systems like ours were available. And now we've worked closely with the city officials. A few months ago, there was a public hearing on the concept, and the councilors voted 11-0 in favor of an amendment to the balcony enclosure guidelines. So we look forward to working with the city over the next few months on those new guidelines that, and hopefully our system won't be counted in the FSR in the city of Vancouver. And then, as I mentioned, a recent one with the city of Burnaby now, where they've pre-approved a concept there for quite a large development there as well. And in Burnaby, they happen to have quite large balconies, and we're happy that to have our system incorporated on these developments as well. So, but in general, just with many of the municipalities, sometimes there are certain ones that are kind of going with some of these more antiquated bylaws. We're working with our planning officials, and sometimes it's just a matter of working closely with the developer or the architect and just kind of articulating how our system exactly operates and ensuring that they understand that it's a single glaze system, it's not double glazing. The balcony remains as a balcony, it remains as an outdoor space. We're not trying to, or people aren't trying to turn it into a bedroom or a den or anything like that. So, and once they kind of understand the system, then we can usually get the approval, has been the case. So our batting
Yeah, it's because it's a tempered space, right? A tempered glass space, and it's not a exterior wall, it's not a thermal wall, and it's a breathable system. So it's not like it is a exterior thermal conditioned space.
Exactly. Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's another question, Mark. It's a very common question, and I got it up here on the chat, and I get it all the time, and maybe you can address this as well. And we did talk about an example earlier in the slideshow about costs, but on average, that every presentation I do, I get that question. I'm sure you get those questions all the time. How do you answer a question on the cost of a typical install?
Sure. So just for our history in Canada with a lot of the projects that we've been involved in, just to kind of give everybody a really good idea, let's just say a balcony happens to be 5 feet by 10 feet by 5 feet. So that'd be a total of 20 linear feet. For most projects, if we're doing, say, 100 units or more at a time, usually our pricing comes between the 380 to 420 per linear foot mark. So that would maybe be around $7,000, $7,600. And that includes the railing system as well. So when developers take out what they would spend on the railings with others, then it just makes it even a lot more attractive on the pricing side of things. And then, as mentioned in that slide that Henry presented there, just with an average balcony of maybe being $7,000 or $8,000 extra cost to the developer, a lot of developers notice that with the balcony glazing, it's a great selling feature, and it can help get. There is kind of a high kind of perceived value of that space for condo development. So, and they feel that they can get the extra $15,000 or $20,000 and get a pretty good return on their investment.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, so I think we're rounding towards the end, if I'm not mistaken. Is there any other questions that can address that you see, Mark, that would be pertinent to this presentation?
I don't see any on the message boards here, but of course, Henry working, he's the colleague, he looks after Eastern Canada, I look after Western Canada. Feel free to reach out to either one of us here at Lumon. Mark, MERK dot DGraaf, DEGRAAF at Lumon.com, and we'd be happy to, and Henry can, I don't know if you want to share your email address as well, or people can
Well,
phone
I
me
think
directly.
most would have that in the
Yeah,
from the building show. They have our contact information prior to the seminar or the presentation, so they can reach out to us for their own particular needs. We're more than willing to do either another online presentation with the rest of their team, or I am welcome to invite you to our facility in Vaughan, and we can do a presentation in our showroom using safe practices during this COVID period of time. I know that's always a bit of an issue for some of our designers, but we definitely can do online presentations as well.
yep.
Well, thank you, Mark, very much, and I hope that everyone who joined us today has really got a handle on what, at least from a broad strokes, what Lumon can provide, and we're here to help and assist you as stakeholders in this industry. We love to be able to provide you with a great Lumon solution and Lumon advantage for your building, and improve the livability of the balconies right across Canada, because this is the future. And I know the wave is run through Europe and is continuing to grow there as well. And there's so many benefits that the condo builders and dwellers can enjoy with our product on the buildings in Canada. So we're here to help.
Yeah, thanks for that, Henry, and thanks everyone for your time and consideration today.
Thank you.